Whether you're researching new places to live and you just stumbled across Spokane, or you've lived here for a while and you're just looking for some new tidbits, today we're going to talk about what is Spokane most known for. We're going to just touch base on Spokane's history, things that are going on in the city, and what has put us on the map to be a mid-sized city that has made the list of top 100 places to live, top places to retire, and one of the top places people are moving to. So make sure to stick around because we've had a lot of exciting things happen here in the Spokane area. Now, if you have no idea who I am, my name is Haydn Halsted, your local real estate resource here in the Spokane area. I make videos every single week on the real estate market, life here in Spokane, and helping you make a decision on whether you should buy, sell, or invest in real estate here in the Spokane area. So if you find this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our videos in the future. So for just a brief synopsis on our history, the Spokane area was founded in 1873 by James Nettle Glover. It started out as a small settlement called the Spokane Falls, but Spokane without the E. The name Spokane came from the Spokane Native American tribe, which Spokane means children of the sun. So the city was incorporated in November of 1881 to about 350 residents and was about 1.5 square miles. 2 years later, in 1883, the E was added to Spokane, and about 10 years after the incorporation, Falls was dropped off and it became Spokane. So for its early history, Spokane was generally just a trading post between the West and the Midwest. We had a large railway system through downtown Spokane, and the clock tower now used to be our central rail station. They tore down the building, left the clock tower, but during this time was the first time Spokane kind of got put on the map because Sonora Smart Dodd wanted to celebrate her father and created Father's Day in 1910. And so Spokane is the birthplace of Father's Day, which we're celebrating this month in June. So then through the early to mid 1900s, there were some famous people that came and went through Spokane, but Spokane really got placed on the map in 1974 when we were the smallest city to host a World's Fair. There's only been 11 US cities that have hosted the World's Fair, and Spokane was the smallest of any of them. Now this year in 2024 is the 50th anniversary, and so there's a huge display at the Museum of Arts and Culture in Brown's Edition going on right now. So if you are visiting Spokane this summer, I would highly recommend you stop by and take a walk through it because it's a really cool piece of history. You get to learn a lot about it. I learned yesterday that there were 100,000 gallons of ice cream consumed, and artists like John Denver, the band Chicago, and Liberace performed at the Expo 74 with millions of visitors from all across the country. So preparing for Expo 74 really changed Spokane. That's when Riverfront Park was built. It hired different city planners from California to help us navigate different roads and things to make downtown more walkable and accessible. So there was a massive shift in the Spokane culture in the early 70s. So touching on Riverfront Park and the Spokane Falls, if you're going to visit Spokane, you're likely to visit this area. Riverfront is a 100-acre park in the middle of downtown Spokane and is surrounding the Spokane River and the Spokane Falls. You can hike down into Huntington Park and go all the way down to the base of the waterfall and stand within 5 feet of the largest urban waterfall in the United States. It's best to go look at the waterfall in May because that's when the spring runoff is happening and the waterfall is as big as it gets. And while you're in the park, you can be a real tourist and go on the Louvre Carousel, which has been rebuilt and has been surrounded by a really cool modern building, but they kept the original carousel, which is awesome. The sky ride over the falls, so you can take a gondola right over the waterfalls. And then the park is just host to many different things, like being a hub for Bloomsday, which is the massive race where 40,000 people run a 7.5 mile race together. Hoop Fest, which is the largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the United States. But now we have super cool features like the Pavilion has been giving a brand new life. You could go see a concert under the Pavilion with the cool lights that they have. Come over Labor Day weekend for Pig Out in the Park, where we have hundreds of food trucks, hundreds of bands playing in Riverfront Park. It really is just like a hub for major events in our area, and it's really cool that it's been actually given a new life here in the last 5 years or so, because there was a time after Expo where it kind of just got forgotten about and wasn't being maintained, and now they've remodeled it, spent millions of dollars, and it is really just a really cool, family-friendly, nice place to go and spend an afternoon. Now, Spokane is known as a place that people love to move to for accessibility to nature. The city has over 87 parks, 60 plus miles of walking trails, is an hour drive to 76 plus lakes, 5 ski resorts, 24 golf courses, and our city motto is near nature, near perfect. So if you're looking for a city with nature built into the community, then Spokane can be a great option for you. A few of the key points here in Spokane are the Centennial Trail, which is a 40-mile long trail that starts in the northwest portion outside of the city of Spokane up in 9 Mile, goes through downtown Spokane, and goes all the way to the Idaho border, where the Idaho Centennial Trail continues for another 20 miles or so. There are many neighborhoods built around the Centennial Trail, and so you could buy a home where the Centennial Trail is in your backyard, and if you're a walker, biker, anything like that, it can be a great resource for you. Next up is Mount Spokane. This is a short drive from almost anywhere in Spokane, 30 to 45 minutes. You can be skiing on the mountain, you could be picking huckleberries on the mountain, hiking, camping, all sorts of things. On Mount Spokane, there's 12,000 acres of recreational area for hiking and camping, and they're actually meeting right now to make plans for the next 20 years on how they should build out more trails, connect to different trails and things like that. So they really are making it accessible to the public. An avid visitor of the mountain was quoted in a news article about it, saying, "All we do is travel 40 minutes and we get all the flora and fauna similar to the Rocky Mountains." It's a wonderful sense of community up there as well. So if you are somebody that likes to be on the mountain, I have friends that will get up there, and when the ski resort is not open, they will hike the mountain and ski down it, and there's a whole community around it. So depending on what you're looking for, depending on skiing, hiking, anything like that, it's an amazing resource here in the Spokane area. And then lastly, in regards to outdoor recreation, we say it all the time, but there's 76 lakes within an hour drive. And so if you're into kayaking, canoeing, boating, fishing, anything like that, there is a lake for you. There are some lakes that have no boats allowed. There's some lakes that are great for boating, some lakes that have no real estate on them, some that have tons. So depending on what you're looking for out of your water recreational lifestyle, there's probably a specific lake made for you. And the great thing about living in Spokane is that you don't necessarily have to own a boat, because it's likely that one of your friends does, and you can hop on theirs and go out for the day, or just rent a boat, because that's very easy and accessible around here as well. So in regards to arts and culture, Spokane is known for a few things. So in regards to performing arts, the Spokane Civic Theater is a really thriving community theater here in the area. We have a lot of traveling Broadway shows come through, and we have a few other beautiful theaters like the Bing Crosby Theater, which we're going to touch on here in just a second, and the Fox Theater is absolutely gorgeous. If you have a chance to go tour it or go see a show at the Fox Theater, I would highly recommend it. It is beautiful on the inside. I think we would do a really great job of supporting local artists here at the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture with Art Fest and things like that, but we also have other arts organizations like Terrain and Spokane Arts that provide opportunity for local artists to put their art out there, sell it, and host shows throughout the city. But in regards to what's putting Spokane on a national scale, things like TV and movies, Spokane has been one of the famous movies filmed here was Benny and June, starring Johnny Depp. And Z Nation, the zombie show that I don't know if it's still running or not, but that was filmed here as well. You've also seen downtown Spokane in one of Macklemore's music videos called Downtown, where they closed down a few blocks for riding mopeds up and down the streets and all that. And we have a theater named after him, but our real piece of Hollywood history is Bing Crosby being one of the most famous musicians of his time period. The Bing Crosby house is preserved on the Gonzaga campus, and you can go tour it and see different memorabilia and things like that. So it's a really cool piece of Spokane history. In regards to a few other famous people from Spokane that are notable today, Sydney Sweeney, the actress right now that was just on SNL. She's from Spokane, went to St. George's private school. I think she's in like her early mid-20s. Cammie Bradley was an America's Got Talent finalist, the singer. Ryan Lewis is Macklemore's producer. He went to Ferris High School, is from the Spokane South Hill area. Kind of our most notable sports stars are John Stockton. He's an NBA Hall of Fame point guard for the Utah Jazz. And then Mark Rippon was the quarterback for the Washington Redskins and was the MVP of the 1991 Super Bowl. But I think most importantly is the internet meme Keyboard Cat. He's from here as well. So just want to put that one out there. Now, if you're into sports, Spokane has a diehard scene. Now, we are not really a place for a large NFL team or NBA team or anything like that, but we're in close proximity. If you want to jump on a quick flight or a drive over to Seattle, you can go to a Seahawks game, a Sounders game for pro soccer. The soccer games are going crazy for the Sounders right now. But Spokane has a heavy spirit for our mid-level teams like our baseball and hockey. But we have an amazing college basketball team, Gonzaga basketball, nearly always making it into the Sweet 16 in college college basketball. We host the world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament here in Spokane called Hoop Fest. But even if you're just somebody that likes to grab a beer and go watch a football game at the bar, there are a ton of sports bars with diehard fans in a community here in the area that you could get connected to. I know even for me as a University of Montana grad, there's a Facebook group for people that live in Spokane for University of Montana graduates that want to watch football or drive over for the big game, the Grizz versus Cat game over there, which is the University of Montana versus Montana State University. So if that exists here, for other colleges in the regions, those Facebook groups and communities exist as well. And then just to touch on food and drink here in the Spokane area, I think a lot of people get concerned about moving from a big area and then not having good food. I've heard some complaints from people that have moved here from California and things, not feeling like they have enough ethnic options, enough worldly options, which I would agree with. I mean, there's only a select few for like Thai food or Chinese food that's actually good, but there's a wide array of restaurants here in the Spokane area. We have some incredible fine dining places like Wild Sage Bistro, or if you want just a super fancy steak, Churchill's cannot be missed. There's great brunch spots throughout the town. So if you're looking for like my recommendations for restaurants in the area, you can go to haydenhalsted.com/restaurants, and it'll be all my top recommendations for different types of foods, from tacos to breakfast, anything in between. And in regards to breweries and wineries, if you like beer or wine, then you should move to Spokane. We have a booming beer scene in Spokane. There is a brewery nearly on every corner, it feels like, a winery on every other corner. So if you want to take advantage of that or explore it while you're here in Spokane, look up the Spokane Ale Trail for all the breweries here in the Spokane area, and look up the Spokane Cork District for wine tours throughout the area as well. But I've got to say, I've drank beer in a lot of places around the United States, and Spokane beer does have something going for it. It's pretty dang good around here. So Spokane may not be the biggest or most interesting city in the United States. We have an interesting history and we've grown rapidly over the last 50 years, but people love the natural beauty. People love the nature here, the community here, and the slower pace of life here, really. And that's why people continue to either stay here and relocate here in order to have that slower pace of life with a lot of the amenities that they like from their bigger city, because they don't need a lot of the amenities that the bigger city might offer them. So Spokane sounds like the place for you. I would love to be your real estate resource here in the Spokane area. I'd love to help you find your dream home and help you work your way into this lifestyle. So if you found this video helpful or you want to stay up to date on the Spokane area, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.